Okay, this chapter is about violence in the workplace. Notice a common theme about the last couple of chapters we've had here, but it is an important factor in the workplace. As you see on the news all the time, you see about violence in the workplace, either injuries or, in some cases, unfortunately, very recently, mass shootings. And this is a really good chapter because it's one of the things you probably need to know to honestly to keep you safe anymore. It's 28 slides, quick introduction. After completing this course, you should be able to identify workplace violence, or a definition of workplace violence, identify the most common types of workplace violence, recognize the warning signs that an individual may be on the verge of violence, and know your role in the violence prevention, and learn how to effectively respond to violent incidences in the workplace. And there is a couple of different things in here that you may not have thought about. One, I think, particularly interesting is threatening behavior versus violent behavior. And the fundamental difference, of course, you can read and you should watch the little video that goes along with it, but the difference between somebody just being threatening and them actually acting out, and what are the triggers, and when you should be concerned, or when it's not necessarily such an issue. And then also assault, which can be verbal as opposed to battery, which is physical contact. So there's also some risk factor assessments for your particular workplace that basically highlight risk factors that may make your particular work environment potentially a little bit more risky, as far as working in isolated or high crime areas, mobile workplaces, taxi, food delivery, things like that, handling money, valuable property or possessions, high volume of contact with the public, just being involved. Eventually, if you contact enough people, you're going to find somebody that's going to be violent. Poor lighting, inadequate security, late nights or early morning hours when fewer people are around, and then employees working alone or in small numbers. Wherever you have those risk factors, and it goes through all the different risk factors. And it talks about workplace bullying too a little bit. I know we already had a chapter about that, but it does touch on that a little bit. And also, when people's outside lives, their domestic violence spills into the workplace. It's not necessarily a violent work environment, but if it spills into there, recognizing when somebody may be in trouble outside of their workspace, and what obligations you have as an employer or employee, but also what obligations you have as just a human being. Just maybe helping somebody out who needs some help about something that's going on in their private life. So anyway, a really good chapter, and as well as this, there's also the chapter test at the end.